G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. We are here on the brand new expansion for Age of Empires 4. This is the Sultan's Ascend, bringing you a brand new map as well. This is Himiyama, a unique map, a brand new map in the expansion pack for Age of Empires 4. We've also got that beautiful biome, which is the Japanese spring biome, and 2 new civilizations as well. Let's introduce our players. Spawning in on the west side of the map in the color orange, playing as the Ayyubids. We've got Japan-loving Weeb. This guy's currently rank number 9 on the ladder, so pretty damn good. On the other side, in the east of the map, playing as the blue Japanese, we've got Louis MT, currently rank 4. These 2 guys, very talented, very good players. I'm expecting we're going to see some great stuff coming out from these guys, and we immediately see both of them making Mogul moves towards the middle of the map, as you would expect, because there is a little bit of fish to be had here. And of course, you got to remember that when you create your fishing boats, it's essentially like creating a villager, and you've only paid 150 wood for your dock. That's a pretty affordable dock, except for this civilization right here, which pays an even cheaper price, 75 wood for the dock. The one difference here is that the Ayyubids pay a full price for their fishing boat, whereas the Japanese pay a discount price. So 30 wood discount on each fishing boat, which means that after 2 fishing boats, you've got a 60 wood discount. Still not quite enough for that 75 wood discount that we see from the Ayyubids. But once we get to that 3rd fishing boat, that's when it will go in favor. And House of Wisdom already coming down. Never mind. I think I know what the devs have done wrong with the Ayyubids, because we'll take a look here. So the House of Wisdom shows as a landmark for them, but whenever they're aging up, we never get to see their age ups. And I think what they've done is they've incorrectly coded the Ayyubids as a normal landmark building civilization, compared to what they should have done is just configured it the same way that they do the Abbasid, which is where you can see the wings of the landmark coming up, because we won't actually get to see the wings displayed on the UI. So hopefully they fix that up for us so that we will be able to track that, because it does get a little bit difficult sometimes. And excuse me, Louis, you had the option for you're rank 4 on the ladder, and you had the option for the dream, the Gold League forge placement, but we don't see it. You could have gone 1 tile over, and it would have allowed you to never have to create another forge. But all right, I'll forgive you, Louis. You're a good player, and a pretty damn good one. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It's good to be able to bring this to you. You might notice my voice is a little bit different, and there's a reason. So I've only just woken up. It's 10:30 in the morning. I woke up about 8:30. Dropped the little man off at daycare. He goes to daycare now. How exciting is that? And it's so wonderful, because I get updates throughout the day. It's beautiful getting to watch him grow. And he learns so much there. I tell you what, like the kids, they're so young, and yet they're scraping off their food scraps into the bin. It's wonderful. Anyway, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, normally I don't cast after I've woken up. I always wait for my morning voice to get gone, and that's mainly just because I prioritize quite a lot having a good sounding stream or a good sounding video. But I think the reality is I'm just enjoying casting this content, and I just want to get it out there because I'm enjoying it. I was sitting down and I'm thinking, well, I don't really want to play at the moment. I just want to cast. I want to see what's happening on the ladder. But let's have a look. Let's take a look and see what we've got going on for Japan-loving Weeb, who's going to be going for the Bazaar trade wing instead of going into the culture wing advancement, which is normally what we see on water maps. Now, there's a reason why that is, and that's because water here isn't that important to win. You know, if this was something like Golden Heights, where you've got deep sea fish, and that's going to be a bonus throughout the remainder of the game, it's kind of important to get that early age up here. But going for the Trade Wing Bazaar definitely makes a lot of sense here. This is considered by far to be the best, most versatile landmark or wing choice for this civilization. We can already see Japan-loving Weeb with plenty of villagers on the Gold Mountain. Now, I don't actually know who this is. I would assume it's somebody like, I'm going to guess like Wham, or sort of somebody that's very good at the game. And it's just their, their secondary account that they just play around with whenever they're having a good time. But Louis now with the age up Kura Storehouse coming in. And Louis, please don't tell me you're long distance mining on the Louis, come on, I was just talking you up at rank number what? Rank number 4. Anyway, age up comes through. What's he got? 4 wood trades and a single Bedouin skirmisher. Oh, you hate to see it. Louis, rather Japan-loving Weeb, getting the... What are the odds that you get 4 wood trades? can you imagine if that had been 4 villager trades, how stupid this would be right now? We would be laughing like, this guy has gone, would go from 22 to 30 villagers in the click of a button. Unfortunately, this is what happens when you play the RNG game, is it's not always going to be in your favor. And there's people who like that, and then there's people who don't. And for me, it's like, I'm still getting there. I'm still getting there. In the middle of the map, though, we got the Dow coming out. Looks like it's going to be naval arrow slits. So Louis just going to be looking to neutralize this entire pod. He's like, you know what? You're not allowed to fish here, and that's that. Get out of here. Once the arrow slits come through, remember the range on this is absolutely ridiculous. These have a range of 11 tiles, which should be more than enough to cover the entirety of this pond. But now we'll have a look as the skirmishers begin making their way towards the top side. He picks up Takazuki as well, which is going to be the level 2 gathering upgrade here, which is really going to hamper the skirmishers are really going to hamper this, because Louis invested a huge amount of resources into this, and now the skirmishers are just going to have free reign over the berries. He's forced back by this. And this is a really strong position here from Japan Loving Weeb. And have a look what both of these players are doing. Neither of them going for a second TC. Both of them prioritizing Castle Age. Very interesting to see. And this is quite curious, because we have seen Feudal Age be a dominant factor in a lot of the games that have been played. Nice little position here. Look at the skirmishers. Oh, very well positioned. Pixel perfect, baby. You love to see it. But now the outpost with the emplacement just coming up will prevent those skirmishers from doing any further damage. And a single villager out here. It's the one with low health as well. Gotta be careful right there. Louis. Oh, geez, you're close, aren't you? Now, where does Japan Loving Weeb go into Castle Age? I feel like going into the 3 Dervish is probably the best bet for you. You could also go into reinforcements. I feel like that's probably better to save until Imperial Age, though. To be honest, I'm a big fan of this. I saw Beastie use it once, and I was like, you know, the tempo that you get from having this is just so strong. Being able to pick up all of the relics immediately, you know, they're quick as well, so you can come out here, deny all of those relics off your opponent, and then pick up your safe ones, then take sacred sites. You know, the healing's fine, but it's just about getting those relics ahead of your opponent and beginning that gold trickle. But now both players looking to hit that Castle Age timing. Which age up is he going to go for? He's going to go for Culture Wing Advancement. So looking to get up a little bit faster. I wonder why that is. What is it that he's looking to take advantage of here by getting up slightly faster? Because it makes sense to do it when you're on water maps. But for me, realistically, I'm just thinking, I'm like, yeah, is it? Oh, we got new trades coming in 9 seconds. But for me, realistically, it's like, is it really worth it? It's 500 resources less and it takes less time, but what are you unlocking that you couldn't wait for compared to, say, something else? But another trade going to come through. It's just going to be more military units. Still not looking for that coveted villager trade. Doesn't actually get it. And unfortunate, that's 2 for 2. He's not got any traders or villagers early on in this game. Floating gate going down on the other side of the map. Both players aging up, dropping that landmarks or dropping those age ups before the 8-minute mark. And now, with the age up coming through from Japan Loving Weeb, let's take a look and see where he goes from here. It could look to be into the Camel Lancer, and that's exactly where it's going to be. It's been a while since we've casted the Ayyubid games. We've been casting a lot of Joan recently, but I think we're probably going to be casting a few more Ayyubid games, because it's been a while that I haven't been, you know, on the real radar for them, and they're a very strong civ at the moment. They are our highest win rate with Joan, so we got to keep that in mind. A little bit of awkward villager spot here. You can see how these vills are going out towards this position when they could just be chopping this wood here. All right, in the middle of the map, junks come out. Still don't see the investment of the naval arrow slits coming through just yet for Japan Loving Weeb. All right, there it is. The first of the Camel Lancers. And this is difficult for Japan to deal with, right? Because as Japan, there's one main thing that I love doing when I go for Fast Castle. I normally do a 2TC Fast Castle. I've actually been honing the build recently. 2TC Fast Castle into a stable, and then you put your Yorishiro into the stable. The problem that you're going to have here is that you can't go Mounted Samurai against Camel Lancers. It's just, you just can't do it, because you've got Camel Unease in play, which means 20% less damage. On top of that, while there's no bonus damage against them, they can very easily get Desert Raiders, which do have that bonus damage. And now we can see the Yorishiro did get placed inside the barracks, and the second Yorishiro is going to get placed inside the lumber camp, of all things. So starting to generate wood. He's actually got no villagers on wood at the moment, Louis. So interesting decision. And the Camel Lancers come through, get the first second villager kill. He's apparently lost one other one. So doing a really good job of controlling the opponent at this stage of the game. And I love the way that the Ayyubids don't really have to invest any resources into the control of their opponent. Like, realistically, all they're doing is just like, oh, I'm just going to click Bedouin Skirmisher and that's it. More Lancers coming through, though. Spearman out. Looking to try and hold off. Nice little skewer attempt. Not going to be able to find it. More Spearmen coming out thick and fast right now. But at the same time, on the other side, we see those double Camel Lancers. And I think we've got our answer here as to why Japan-loving Weeb was looking for that very early age up. And it's just because of the tempo. He's looking to try and get a tempo advantage on his opponent. Look at these coming in from both sides here. And you wouldn't be able to do this if you didn't age up quickly. If you aged up slow, then all of a sudden, you're in a bit of an awkward spot. And this makes total sense when you think about it, right? The Ayyub, or the Abbasid, their variant civilization counterpart, well, you've got to be careful. These spears are in a very awkward spot. Indeed, they're gonna get taken out here if he's not careful. You can see Micro coming through here. Relics getting picked up behind this. He did drop a mosque down, so slowly picking up the relics. But it looks like he manages to take out 2 of the Camel Lancers. Really nice control coming through from Japan-loving Weeb. You can just see he is all over it. You know what? It could be like Marine Lord or someone as well. When I see this kind of control, I'm like, this is looking Marine Lord-esque, right? Never mind, it's not Marine Lord. Marine Lord doesn't make mistakes like that, guys. But yeah, I think that the Abbasid dynasty, in particular, or can I just say how nice it would have been just to have like a wall here, wall here, wall here. Gosh, and a wall here. Wouldn't that make your bloody day? But the Abbasid dynasty, you guys would have noticed that when they're going Castle Age, there's often this huge build-up of resources that they have. And then once they hit Castle Age, then they're just spamming out all of these units. We don't get that with the Ayyubids if you're going for that quick age up. You just drop down 2 stables and that's it. You're straight into production. Beautiful transition coming through now from Japan-loving Weeb. But let's keep riding on board and see how he's going. He got another trade through. We can see that it looks like, I don't know what he's picked up here. I'm going to assume that it's villagers, though, just simply because he does have a slightly higher villager count at the moment. We'll keep that in mind. It's about a 4 at the moment, because we can't keep track of every single trade wing trade that happens. Samurai out on the field now. This is going to be a unit that has a difficulty dealing with the camel as well, just simply because whenever they want to try and fight, well, they can't fight because the camels are going to run away. And this is why I think this unit is so powerful, because it always has the ability to just engage when it likes and disengage when it likes. And that's what makes it particularly strong. Wololo coming in, looking to try and defend these villagers. And just relentless here. Relentless taking out the villagers. It's been so difficult for Louis. And as I mentioned, the walls here would have been amazing. But it's a little bit too late for that. Top side, under pressure. Louis just under threat from every single angle. You can just feel the pressure that he's got right now. Is he just carrying this relic around? He's just like, you know what? This is all we're going to do right here. 4 relics in favor of the Ayyubid player. 1 relic in favor of the Japanese player. Louis with a slight score advantage here. Upgrades continue to come through. Double broad axe. Now on line for him is hunting. Japan-loving Weeb does not see the samurais on his doorstep, but he's going to be spotting them now, as the unfortunate position of that dervish means that he probably... Never mind. Dervish, kind of good, I guess. Camels, once again coming through. He's doing such a great job of not losing these camel lancers, by the way. It's just incredible. Anyway, over on the west side of the map. Oh, gosh. You know, it's the caster curse, isn't it? You say something and the opposite happens immediately. Yeah. There you go. Let's check in and see how long we've got. We've got another 10 seconds for that House of Wisdom to come through. And we'll see exactly what that Trade Wing Bazaar holds for us. But at the same time, once again, this is the consequence of going for this unit. It's just incredible. It allows you amazing flexibility. And there we go. Villager Exchange now going to be available for him. Doesn't actually have the gold for him at the moment. We'll switch it over to income so that we can see what that number is. But when you compare, or when you pair this unit with the Dervish, it just allows incredible flexibility, because any of your low health camel lancers you're able to bring back and then repair, or heal. In this case, not repair. This is not StarCraft. We are not SCVs. Yeah, it's really, really cool to see. One of the camel lancers will go down. What's the speed on these? 1.62, so the same as a normal lancer. That is ludicrous. This unit is really good. It's such a difficult unit to deal with, and I've talked about this before, right? If these units are raiding you, you can't chase them with horsemen. I mean, you can try, but you're just going to lose. You can't chase them with knights, because they're going to just always take a cost-effective fight against you. So you've got to overwhelm them with knights, which means you're committing more resources or more units than what your opponent is doing, which is a win. But, oh, villagers getting caught out of position here. Louis finally finding a way back into the game. Villager count in his favor. Beautiful to see. Have we picked up that last villager hire? Not quite yet. Still doing a decent job on the back here. short of a trap, it's going to be very difficult to catch these camels. And then on top of that, so, I mean, we've talked about the horsemen, talked about the knight. If you want to go archers, good luck. Crossbows, bad luck. If you go for samurai, you're outrun. If you go for any kind of infantry, you're outrun. And obviously, you can fight against spears. You're going to lose. But the idea is that you would never fight against them unless you thought 100% you could win. So that is why the Camel Lancer is just an absolutely insane unit. Oh, no. Oh, no. Run, villagers, run. Just come straight down through them. It's going to be one that goes down, two that go down. Nice little rappel. Another raid on the other side. I tell you what, isn't this a scrappy game? This is such a scrappy game. Now the numbers starting to build up back at home. We're up to 13 veteran archers. Louis, I'm gonna say this to you once, and then I'm just gonna leave it. Can you please wall? Like, how many raids do you need to survive before you say to yourself, maybe just a couple of walls here could work? What's the idea of a wall? The idea of the wall is to control the narrative. If I wall here and here and here, it means I don't have to follow with my spears as these camel lancers come through the back of my base, which means I don't have to focus my APM down there, which means I can control the narrative, because if my enemy is attempting to do those raids, they won't be able to. Now I'm controlling the story. That's what's really important in these games, and we can now see Japan-loving Weeb looking to take a page out of Drongo's book here as a big wall comes down towards the top side of his base, acknowledging that these raids coming through from his opponent are significant and they need to be shut down. And you can try and chase them away with the samurai, or you can try and chase those samurai, which is definitely a wonderful thing, but it's probably just easier to get the walls up. So doing this is definitely the right call. I support this 100%. Numbers starting to build though. Only the single dervish out for the moment. Keep in mind, it does have that mass heal ability. Don't see him utilizing it just yet. Kura Storehouse fully stacked. And now Japan-loving Weeb really beginning to push out here. When it comes to the army value, take a look at this. Now, I don't know if this is accurate. That's one of the other things to note, is I know it is a little bit bugged with Japan. I know it's bugged with their archers, but there's a good chance it could be bugged with other things as well. But there's a lot of spears out on the field at the moment. I will say that much. And Honor Geisha, which are pretty cheap units. So I'm going to say this is probably accurate. So 1,000 difference between these guys at the moment. Now villagers getting caught out once again in the middle of the map. Oh, this is not feeling good right now for Louis. He's continuing to lose villagers, but still somehow maintains the villager lead. He has thrown down that second TC. So now that he's thrown down the second TC, this is where it becomes imperative that Louis plays around that second TC. You've got to remember that even though a second TC scales into the late game, the impact that it has immediately on the way that your army is numbered is going to be immediate, because you've invested 750 resources in this building right now. That could be 7 or 8 spearmen. That could be 7 or 8 on a Geisha. In fact, it's more than that, because the spearman costs 80 resources. That could be almost 10 spearmen on the map. On a Geisha raid on the backside as well here. So what Louis needs to do in this position is he needs to just chill out. That's the most important thing. Wall up, maybe throw a couple of Honor Geisha raids the exact way that he's doing right now. The walls that he's putting here, I'd love to see them just a little bit further up here. That's exactly what he needs to do here. Perfect. A little bit aggressive. I'm going to say probably too much here, Louis. We want to try and tone it down a little bit. Even the TC spot feels a bit aggressive here as well. Just because, I mean, just going for the second TC, naturally, it's going to be a bit of an aggressive thing. Or not aggressive, but rather a greedy thing. Honor Geisha going to get cleaned up here. You can see they're speedy little girls, little women, little demons, whatever you want to call them, bad boys. I'm not going to say that one. But geez, they're quick, aren't they? A nice little job peeling off the Honor Geisha as well. Now going to be able to find a single villager here. Could look to commit to it, but just going to, you know what he's doing? He's just buying time, and this is so smart from Louis. Just buying more time, because remember, every second that he buys over here with these Camel Lancers in the base of his opponent, he is gaining villagers. And the longer you're gaining villagers, the greater advantage you're building. And this right here, mistake number 1 from Louis. Louis, you can't be pushing right now. You've just thrown the second TC down. Chill out. Take your time. Relax. Everything's going to be fine. Just bide your time, Louis. But now beginning to push through. Spearmen have got their veterancy. He's beginning to push up. Where are the units coming out from his opponent? There they are in the back of the base. We're going to head into the cinematic mode as the Honor Geisha looking to try and get through onto that archer line. The spear numbers are solid. Where are the samurai, though? I can only see a handful of them in there. Archer numbers are pretty bad. I mean, this is a really terrible engagement for Louis. The archers are just getting free shots in on that front line. And now all of a sudden, there's the reinforcements coming in, but I can't help but feel like this was just a poorly planned attack from the very beginning. Now those spears do finally come through. He's got a little bit more space to work with here, but he wants to avoid fighting in these narrow choke points. He needs to try and get us around. He's playing exactly like the Holy Roman Empire. Beautiful job. Exactly what he wants to do. Yeah. Louis knows what's up. Louis knows what's up. That's exactly what you need to do right there. You need to bring your surface area up. When you've got them all stacked deep the way that he had, it's going to reduce the surface area that you've got to engage. So by putting them into this line formation, you increase your surface area, enabling you to get a better surround sooner. Really smart move there from Louis. And now he's done the right thing on the backside of this. He's gone for the walls. My only fear is these are big walls, right? So normally when you're throwing down walls, you're looking to delay your opponent rather than to stop your opponent, and that's kind of what we're... That's a bit awkward. And essentially, with something like this, you delay your opponent maybe a couple of seconds because there's a good chance they're going to be bringing their whole army here. Whereas those smaller walls, even though there's really nowhere decent to wall on the top side of this base, it's more designed about preventing the raids. Daimyo Palace now going to be coming online. Didn't even realize he'd picked up the Daimyo Manor yet. But numbers continuing to build here for Louis. Exactly what he needs. Remember, this is the main focus for him. Let's check in with Japan-loving Weeb, though. The numbers continuing to build on his side. And you can really feel right now the way that this is building towards a climax. The fact that both of these players... I'm not sure if Japan-loving Weeb knows his opponent is on 2 TCs, but one of the risks here is the longer that he plays on a single TC, the more likely he realizes, okay, something is up here because my opponent should be pushing me. They should be prodding me the same way that they were down here on the south side. This is exactly what's happening, but see, this is the danger right now. Louis, the advantage rests in your court, Louis. Once again, this is something that I'm really fearful of him doing and pushing out. He's got really good numbers, don't get me wrong, and he's got an overwhelming force here. The problem is going to be whether the Ayyubid player's going to be able to find a nice choke point to fight him in. And he's just tearing down the walls. This guy, he is like Joe Biden. He's like, you know what? We don't actually. Maybe Biden likes walls, but he's gonna be the anti-Trump guy. He does not like walls. All right, numbers looking good. He's gonna have to fall back away from this situation. Certainly, there's way too many units there. Camels now coming through, looking to find a way onto that front line. Spears and Samurai once again turning towards the walls. What are the numbers that he's got right now? 40 spears, 20 samurai, 17 Onabagation, and 3 Bannerman. A Mangonel in queue as well. I tell you what, if you wait for that Mangonel, you're going to have yourself a party. But it looks like he's trying to pick a fight now. Our Japan-loving Weeb. Numbers looking really good here for him. But look at the Camel Lancer numbers. They are starting to rise significantly. Samurai going to get picked off. Archers definitely got their veterancy and their +2, I'm assuming. Indeed they do. Oh my god, look at the numbers. I tell you what, this is what you love seeing from the Japanese. Literally just a huge infantry mass. What's the population at the moment? 90 versus 74. Army values identical. Here we go. It's happening. I can feel it. He wants it. Why does Louis is so horny right now for this fight? Louis, wake up. There we go. Beginning to push through. The spears on the front. Samurai at the back. Probably not the best way to do it. Want to pull those spears back. Let the Samurai tank it. Now the Mangonel's coming through. This is exactly what he needs to wait for. But remember that the Ayyubid player does have access to build that Springald on the field, so expect when he sees the Mangonel to back off, drop that Springald down, and then look to fight once that Springald's online. Now we see the Mangonel coming up. Big shot to the back. Nice little split comes through. Is he just going to fight this head on? There's no way. There's no way. He's looking to fight it head on right now. All of the camels looking to run through. Where are the spears, though? Samurai numbers down on the south are looking solid. Mangonel shot comes off. It's not doing a whole lot of damage towards that top side. The camel numbers are starting to look solid. Camels make his way through onto that back of the Mangonel. Going to get taken out before he's able to do any damage, though. Second camel coming through. And now all of a sudden, now Japan-loving Weeb is starting to wish he was playing Japan as Louis MT begins to overwhelm him on that front line. At the same time, the Mangonel does get cleaned up. You can see the power of the Japanese army as the Ayyubid player heads scrambling towards his base. Keep in mind, Louis on 2 TC behind this, so even if it does go sour for him, he's got a plan in the back pocket. Samurai moving towards that west side, looking to try and find a way through onto the back line. Definitely going to be able to do that for sure. Second Mangonel is through, and good game gets called. It's our Ayyubid player tapping out with Louis MT taking an infantry-only approach and absolutely destroying the opponent. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed this casted game. Make sure, if you haven't already, go and purchase the Sultan's Ascend. It is such a great expansion pack. I'm enjoying it. Everyone's enjoying it. We are at our peak.